I curse on purpose. I want to see people's reaction because we do at the office. You can call it unprofessional if you want, but that's what we do here. So tough shit.
Right. There, it is episode number 53 of the Promo Upfront podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the general of the July vacation, the captain of Cobra Kai, the ombudsman of employee onboarding, the one and only Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how the Mexico are you?
I'm doing well, man. That was a mixed bag of nicknames today. I'm excited. No, I'm doing well. As you alluded to, I'm on vacation, but the show must go on. And so I actually have a pretty good view right here sitting from the patio. But if I start sweating profusely, it's not that I'm nervous. It's just that it's warm. So I'm doing well, bud. How about you?
I'm doing great. You should be nervous. I have the party in the back section, so you should be very nervous for that, especially after the Cobra Kai debacle of last week. But things are great. I feel like, things are getting easier. And when I think of things that are easy, Kirby, I think of one thing. Do you know what that is?
What's that, Bill?
That's our good pals over at Promo Pulse, Jason Noakes. A lot of people say, hey, it's only a 5-step process. That's easy. When I think of that, I'm like, that's hard compared to what it takes for Promo Pulse to do their AMP email service. That's only 3 steps. That's 2 steps less, 40% less steps. And who doesn't want 40% less steps? That's right. You can use AMP email from Promo Pulse to send those retail-looking and user-friendly emails to your customers using content from suppliers that you get to choose. Like I said, it's 3 steps. Step 1, choose your suppliers. Step 2, upload your list and your logo. Step 3, choose your sending frequency. That's it. Nothing more. You set it and forget it, and you have consistently beautiful outbound email messages marketing all year round. Kirby, I know you've been using it and you've had some incredible results. Please share a truthful one with us now.
Okay. Yeah, no, as folks who listen to this know, I was part of the beta group. And so I've had a chance from the beginning to it. We absolutely have. One of the things with us is we had already sent out emails. And so I was a little concerned. I didn't want to inundate people. But as you pointed out, you can set the frequency. And what I found was people who don't always read all the blogs and the videos were really responding to the lifestyle images and really engaging with the products. So it had a really cool effect that just kind of kept the conversation going, which is exactly what you want.
Absolutely. And so if you want to get those results like what Kirby's gotten, quite a few other people have gotten, head over to www. I know I don't have to say that, but I get used to saying it. Head over to promopulse.io/AMP, AMP. Get on the list, get involved. This is a really good way to get your marketing off the bleachers and get into the game and do so in a targeted surgical way with AMP email from Promo Pulse. Kirby, thank you so much for having the courage to broadcast while you're on vacation. I am not on vacation today, although it's kind of my day off because it's our first year anniversary here at Brandivate. That's why I'm all Brandivated up today.
Congratulations.
So thank you. You have the Promo Upfront part of the podcast today. Why don't you fire us up with a topic du jour?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me just say, because that was part of what I wanted to talk about, is congratulations. It's not my Promo Upfront, but making it 1 year in, obviously it's been a year since we've been doing this podcast too. And so it's just it's cool to see these milestones. And I think you mentioned that it's important to celebrate them. It is. And seriously, congrats, man. It's really awesome.
Thank you. Couldn't do it without certainly the support of the promotional products community, our great customers, and most importantly, our investor who believed in us early on, and that faith has been validated, I believe. But most importantly, my business partner, Kelsey Cunningham, who has just knocked it out of the park. I tend to be the public face of Brandivate, but she does quite a bit that people don't see. It's kind of I'm the Danny Rosen to her Robert Five Ash in terms of brand fuel analogy, but couldn't do it without her. Couldn't do it wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. So having a great time.
That's awesome. So congrats. And then
thank you.
So the topic I wanted to jump into, I was curious if you've seen it. I'm guessing, knowing you, that you have. that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the NCAA not allowing college athletes to use their own likeness for profiting goes
Right.
against antitrust laws.
Yep.
And so they've made that announcement, and already several college athletes are coming out filing for copyright trademarks, I believe, and to I think it was Graham Mertz, quarterback from Wisconsin, and Spencer Rattler have already come out and started to say that they were going to promote merchandise
Right.
and just different things that profit from their own likeness. I have very strong opinions about this, and I'm super curious to know what yours are. Obviously, because it ties into the merch piece, which is why I'm bringing it up.
Sure. It's long overdue. All of us as Americans, actually, it's our right to profit off of our image and likeness. People don't realize that, but that is actually one of our rights that we have as citizens of this country. If someone wants to pay Kirby to do a commercial for Drano, he can do it, and he should profit from that. College athletes traditionally have signed that right away as part of their scholarship. So that's why they haven't been able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness, the NIL, as it were. It's about damn time, but it's a slippery slope.
Sure.
I think what we're seeing is the exposure of the NCAA that has waved the flag of amateurism falsely for decades is finally being called out for the ridiculous organization that they are. You should be able to profit from that. And I don't have any issue with it whatsoever. I think the challenge is creating a set of rules whereby one school does not gain competitive recruiting advantage over another. And I don't think you can really do that. There's so much disparity as it is.
Sure.
If you're winning, kids are going to go there. If you're not, kids aren't. Right. And so your Alabamas, your Notre Dames, your Stanfords are still going to get the best athletes. And then it's up to the other universities to kind of get those second tier, sometimes athletes. So I'm all for it. I think it's great. I'd like to be there to be a uniform set of rules. I don't know if I really want Congress involved in that, but I have a feeling they're going to be. But I'd like to see some uniformity across what that means. But I think it's about damn time.
Yeah, I'm with you. This has bugged me for a long time that we somehow treat athletes as if they are completely different from every other person in society. The college athletes is what I'm talking about. If an engineering student wants to get a paid internship to further their career during the summer, we applaud that. Like if a student athlete does that, somehow involved with athletics, then all of a sudden, that suddenly they have done something horribly and criminally wrong is absurd to me. So now again, and I actually think agreed that it's going to take some sifting out, but I actually think the market will bear it out. I think that sometimes we can overthink the idea of, we need to have a set of rules. I mean, to me, like, again, we don't have sets of rules for every other thing. Now, if you want to say, okay, Alabama, like the specific idea of paying players or whatever, that's actually sort of a separate step down this ladder. But the idea that somebody could, that suddenly Spencer Rattler could create some really, really freaking cool merch just because he has a cool name, and then be able to profit from that, to me, that I think that the market will take care of that.
When I think of the rules, here's what I'm thinking of. If Castrol Oil wants to have Spencer Rattler pimp oil and pay him to do so, I think that's great. Where does he go to school?
Oklahoma.
If Oklahoma University decides they want to pay Spencer Rattler to promote the university, that's a problem. And I think that's where you start getting into illegal payments. I think not illegal, but I think that's where you start getting into unfair recruiting advantages, things like that. So when I say rules, I don't think the university should be able to partner with the athlete to do that. I'm talking. So other than that, to me, it's fair market, fair game.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people saying, well, my kid's a swimmer and he's not able to profit from it. Well,
yeah, it can. That's actually, I think that's the thing that this actually equals. This
I
levels
agree.
that playing field.
That's what I was about to say. There's Speedo, there's goggles, there's all sorts of things. So I agree with you. I just don't want the universities themselves to get involved in the promotion of the athletes. To me, that is something the athletes, because now they'll be allowed to hire agents to negotiate on their behalf for these sponsorships and things like that. But that should be outside of the university system.
The only thing I would put, and again, I think you and I probably agree on this. I always just like to push back sometimes for the sake of this discussion. But the reality of it is the system is completely imbalanced now. So the idea that it would suddenly be imbalanced, it already is.
No, just don't want to make it further out of bounds.
Yeah,
I think when you start having universities pay the students, that becomes an issue. It's tricky. Good topic, Kirby. All right, Kirby, is Clubhouse dead?
That is a great question.
So we talked about Clubhouse, and for those of you who aren't familiar, Clubhouse was an app. It was only available on Apple products at first, and now it's on Android, and it's basically a audio only social media where people can open up rooms and have conversations. And it came on with a vengeance.
Yeah, sure did.
Kirby you and I did a podcast follow-up on Clubhouse. Kelsey and I had a room on Clubhouse, and I know Javier Melendez and Charity Gibson and Mandy Clay used to do a thing every Tuesday night about branding. Man, that's all stopped. It seems like. And of course, as it happens, other people have picked up their competitors. Twitter has something called Spaces. Facebook has live audio rooms coming soon. Spotify has a green room, which is a competitor of Clubhouse. And the advantage to that, it's recorded sessions because Clubhouse is live only. They don't record anything. So I love the idea that the instant chat rooms are topic focused and the longer, more nuanced conversation. But I think it's dying very, very quickly. It's to me, it's becoming as irrelevant it's becoming irrelevant as quickly as it became relevant, and just as violently fast.
It's really interesting that you bring it up because I have not thought about Clubhouse in weeks, and it's not anything bad. And so I think there is, unless it modifies in some pretty substantial way, then I think that it probably will decline. That being said, I think one of the fears that people run into is they're like, I'm going to dive into Clubhouse and then it's going to go away. And so I'll lose all of that. I think there's still a lot of value in diving in early. And I wasn't one of those early adopters, but that you gain skill sets, you make connections. I think the people who were in there and were in there hard have done really well, regardless of whether Clubhouse goes away. So yes, I think is the original answer to your question. I think it's not dead, but it is in critical condition.
It is on life support, that's for sure.
But the idea that just because that's the case, I think that some real connections probably have been made and some real conversations did happen. And so it was still good.
Yeah, I know Charity, who really went all in on Clubhouse very, very early on, to the point she didn't have an Apple device. She's a Google Pixel phone person, and she had her daughter's iPhone and was using that for a lot. But I mean, I think Clubhouse died because it didn't have the proper moderation. I mean, a lot of those rooms I went off the rails very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Both promo and non-promo. It became very, very strange. And one of the things I did not like about Clubhouse is everybody had to fight for their space to show how much of an expert they were.
Yeah.
And it got real exhausting hearing everyone do that.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of real meetings.
Yeah, no, exactly. it was let me take what Kirby just said, and I'm going to take a couple different words, put my own words in there, but I'm going to say the same thing. I want to make sure everybody knows I'm listening, I'm paying attention, I'm just as intelligent as Kirby. And that's kind of what was happening. It felt like a fad. It felt like a fad when it started, and it feels like a fad the way it's going away. And if I was Clubhouse, I would be on the phone with Apple or Google right now, and I'd be trying to sell that sucker as quickly as I can, because every day you don't sell, you are losing value.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, buddy. That's a good one.
All right.
Okay.
We got Kirby.
All right, let me come over here because I'm trying to do this all on one screen. Okay, so here's a question. This is really, I'm really want your opinion on this because I think it's going to go against what you and I have preached for a long time.
Okie
So
dokie.
I want to, so first of all, I read your blog on Monday, The Tao of Ted Lasso, which
Yes, sir.
was fantastic. Really, really good blog.
Thank you.
About, and just, you and I have both expressed our love for that show. And so, and my guess is it posted on July 5th, and I had a Monday Minute that posted on July 5th. Now, I'm not sure what your readership was on that, but generally speaking, when we post on days like that that are traditional holidays, the overall engagement, the people who see the message, whatever, it's just lower because there's fewer people in the office. And so, but you and I have long said for years that if we post on a Friday, we post on a Friday, whether it's Christmas Day or whether it's New Year's Day, which has totally happened. So here recently, I've started to question myself on that. And I wanted your take because I want to say, like, I totally understand, obviously, why we said that, because I think the consistency of showing up helps build your audience. It builds trust. It builds integrity.
Right.
And I still believe that. But on the other side, I find that some really good messages are not being seen as much as I feel like they should. Like my Monday Minute, in the interest of transparency, I felt like was pretty good. Nobody's seeing it. So should I have waited a week to post it and then come back with the idea that saying, hey, I'm taking Monday off, but back. So I guess my question, I just want to set the foundation to say, are we wrong on that? Should we reconsider the idea? I mean, networks take a break and play reruns. Should we still be doing that? And should we still value that specific amount of consistency?
We're not wrong at all. I would argue actually most times viewership, readership, engagement is up on those days because people aren't at work because they're sitting next to Uncle Joe who's going off the rails on some political rant and you just want to look at your phone to not really engage in that. I actually had good engagement, more than I thought yesterday on mine. But what I have thought of doing is either one of two things. I would still always post a blog or whatever, a podcast, whatever, on the day it's supposed to, the day I've decided or we've decided if we're doing something together, post it on that day and at that time. I think the concept of maybe here's a blog people may have missed is a good idea.
Okay.
And with merit. I also think on a day like yesterday, when you posted the Monday Minute and you felt like this was a good one and it didn't get the engagement I had, and I think it's because of the holiday.
Oh, sure.
There's no reason to do an in case you missed it post later in the week. I think summer's always tricky because people are on vacation, and especially when you have July 4th fall over weekend, the 2 weeks surrounding it are going to be tricky because people are out of town and they may not look at their phone as much. But I don't think we're wrong in posting those things. And the other thing I would say too is you and I are both admitted idiots knowing what people are going to engage with and what they're not going to engage with.
That was literally going to be my counterpoint to my own point. Go ahead.
Yeah. I there's been many times I will write a blog like, man, I'm about to set the world on fire. Look out, Monday. And then it's met with a collective yawn. And then there's other times where I'm like, I've written this before and I feel like I'm just saying it differently, but I'm not inspired right now, but I got to put something out. And people are like, this is amazing. Love it. So I am the worst arbiter of what is going to be engaged and viewed. I'm the worst at that easily.
Yeah, it's that would be my counterpoint to myself on this. As I mean, if you know if I'm bringing this up, I've already given it a lot of thought because I'm like, okay, do I keep posting? Do I not? Whatever. But that's my point. Is that every time I post something and I'm like, it's just going to be a crappy day or nothing's going to happen. Well, then something magical does happen, and I think it is because we're showing up when everybody else is not. And so I do think there's value, but it does make me think again. Just because I've done it that way always doesn't mean I shouldn't reevaluate it. And so that was sort of my thought process is I just want to think through and go, am I right? And could I do it differently that might just be better?
Possibly, but I still think consistency wins the argument.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
I think consistency wins the argument. All right, Kirby. I was thinking about hiring. We talked a couple weeks ago about the great resignation, how many people are leaving jobs, looking for better opportunities, things like that. And I thought, what characteristics should we all be looking for in an employee? And I'm blindsiding you with this on vacation. So I will go first. But
Totally
and these are
fine.
not, yeah, these are not job specific.
Right.
They're more of the characteristics of the human you're bringing on board. And if I may share mine.
Sure. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I did this blindly. I just did this blindly.
Okay.
One is resilience. I came up
That's
with I've been really focused on that word recently about it's so important to everybody gets knocked down. That you're not a victim because you got knocked down. That's called life.
Yeah.
It's how you get up. It's the resilience you show. And I love that when things don't go your way. Grit. I love the word grit in the hard work that implies. Patience. I need patience. We are such a society now, especially with the younger generations. It's not making fun of them. We were just as impatient at that age too.
Yeah.
So, but I want some semblance of patience, curiosity.
Right.
Want people to be curious. Confidence.
Okay.
Confidence, but not cockiness. Confidence, and the last one, and you'll love this one, I believe, Kirby. Positivity. There's always a positive moment or positive. There's positivity in everything, regardless of how bad it is.
Yeah. No, I think those are really good. My struggle with these, because those are all ideal, right? Like zero argument with anything you just said.
Yep.
I do struggle to figure out how I judge resilience in an interview. I think there's questions you can ask for sure, but that is like, so one that popped into my head immediately was sense of humor.
Yep, that's a great one. I didn't add that, and it's just as important to me because I'm cracking wise all day long.
Well, and I think and I actually think that's easier to judge in an interview setting, right? Like, not that someone could put on airs that they're laughing at jokes, but if I actually do a few things in interviews, I curse on purpose. I want to see people's reaction because we do at the office.
Right.
You can call it unprofessional if you want, but that's what we do here. So tough shit.
Right.
So I really like the resiliency. I like the creativity. I also really like, and again, we're throwing out $6 words, but whether you call it transparency or authenticity, one of the questions that is always asked is, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? I came across a question a couple of years ago that I thought was really interesting. Rather than what are your weaknesses, what would your worst enemy say about you?
Yep.
Which is something I actually don't spring on people. I actually let them know that that's a question coming in because I want them to be introspective and really think about it. People either really share or they really don't.
Right.
And that is, it tells me something. You know what I mean? And so those are a couple on my mind.
Yeah. And so for the resilience one, of course you asked the question, tell me a time where you got knocked down, how you got back up.
Right.
And people have generally, and I do spring that on people.
Yep.
And they will have not a canned answer, but I go the psychologist route, hardcore. Well, tell me more about that. And then if I don't feel like I got the answer, well, I'm sorry, help me understand how you felt. How did you react? How did they perceive you when you did this? And then the other one I ask, which is kind of an interesting one compared to what you just said, what would your worst enemy say about you? I ask people, and I do spring it on them because I don't want anybody planning for an interview because life is unplanned.
Sure.
And so I don't like that. That's everybody's different style. I think you have some merit giving people fair warning, but I will ask, tell me 3 words your mother would use to describe you.
I like that. But see, I think that's fair. The worst enemy, the only one I would say about that is if you don't give people time, you're for sure going to get a canned answer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. But I always ask people when they give me, I say, I'd like some references, and I will ask, I'd like a reference from someone. Maybe it didn't end well. I'd really like to talk to them. And boy, you should see the look of fear on people's faces. But and sometimes I call and sometimes I don't. But I do want to understand.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Look, sometimes things don't go well. Look, not everything ends all pretty.
We both know that.
We both know that. All right. Do we have another topic, or you want to go to the game?
Let's do the game, my man. I'm ready
All
to
right.
get back to the beach.
You are in Mexico.
I am.
And so we're going to play a quick game of either or.
Okay.
And what it is, it's iconic Latino characters in TVs and movies, and TV shows and movies. So you just tell me which one you prefer, which one you think is there's not better, just which one you like, and if you want to say
resonates with me. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, for example, Desi Arnaz as Ricky Ricardo in I Love Lucy, or Jimmy Smits as Victor Cifuentes in L.A. Law.
Ooh, I'd go Victor. Jimmy Smits.
Okay.
Maybe because again, I grew up watching him, and I just always thought he was super cool.
All right, Danny Trejo as Tortuga in Breaking Bad, or Giancarlo Esposito as Gustavo Fring in Breaking Bad.
Never watched Breaking Bad, so I'm gonna go
wrong. You are wrong. You need to watch that, sir. Don't even answer the question. You're not even qualified to answer the question. We're skipping that one. No. Would you please watch Breaking Bad? Come on.
I watched episode 1. I was like, yeah, it's fine.
It was 5 seasons. You've got to give it time to breathe.
Well, it goes to why when I like Cobra Kai or I like Ted Lasso, like I never watch anything. So it's like, so anyway, sorry.
So disappointing.
I don't like Fritos either.
I know. Or Cheetos. Freddie Prinze as Chico Rodriguez in Chico and the Man.
Okay.
Or Freddie Prinze Jr. as Cole Ortiz in the TV show 24.
Oh, it's definitely Freddie Prinze, the dad.
All right.
For sure.
All right. Dora as the cartoon Dora in Dora the Explorer.
Always the right answer.
Or Cesar Romero as Joker in the 1960s Batman.
Oh, yeah. Dora the Explorer. On delay.
Wrong. Wrong. Jennifer Lopez. Backpack. No. Jennifer Lopez as Selena in Selena, or Naya Rivera as Santana Lopez in Glee.
Oh, I'm gonna go J-Lo. Okay. And Selena.
Only a few more. Sofia Vergara as Gloria Delgado Pritchett in Modern Family, or George Lopez as the voice of Grouchy Smurf in the Smurfs movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Modern Family is a fun show. I think Sophia is amazing, so I'm gonna go.
I've never seen that show, not 1 second of it.
It's one of those shows that I really liked for about 2 or 3 episodes, but as is the case when you have a series like that, they just go further and further and further, and by the end, it was just for me, it was hard to watch.
I'm sure it was good. I heard great things about it. All right. Sonia Manzano as Maria on Sesame Street, or Emilio Delgado as Luis on Sesame Street.
Amelia Delgado.
Okay. Rita Moreno as Anita in West Side Story, or Rita Moreno as Zelda Zanders in Singing in the Rain.
I'm going to go with Rita Moreno.
Which one? West Side Story or Singing in the Rain? Come on.
I was Singing in the Rain.
All right. Benicio del Toro as Javier Rodriguez in Traffic, or Benicio del Toro as Fred Fenster in The Usual Suspects.
Ooh, I love The Usual Suspects. So I'm going to go with Benicio del Toro in The Usual Suspects. The ending of that movie is amazing.
Yeah, it's a fabulous movie. If you haven't seen it, you're doing yourself a disservice. 2 more, Kirby. Edward James Olmos as Admiral Adama in Battlestar Galactica, or Edward James Olmos as Lieutenant Martin Castillo in Miami Vice.
I'll take Edward James Olmos and Stand Up and Deliver.
Okay, not a real movie. Stand and Deliver, and that wasn't an option. All right, last one.
I really like that movie.
Mario Lopez as AC Slater in Saved by the Bell, or Eric Estrada as Frank Poncherello in Chips.
I gotta go Chips. Frank Poncherello for sure. He's just cool.
All right, quick bonus, real quick.
Okay.
Mexican beers, Kirby. Quick. You're in Mexico. You're about to go have a beer on the beach.
Yep.
Dos Equis or Modelo Especial?
I'm gonna go Modelo Especial.
Carta Blanca or Victoria?
Carta Blanca.
Corona or Sol?
I'll go Sol right now. Corona's in the fridge right now, but I do like Sol.
Nice. Well, I like Sol too. And you know who has a lot of soul? That's Jason Noakes over there at AMP and Promo Pulse. He has a great way of expressing and sharing his expertise with the industry. And that's what he's done with the AMP email service for distributors. 3 easy steps, not 5, not 6, not 4, not 7, 3 easy steps. Choose your suppliers, upload your listed logo, and choose your sending frequency. That's it. can't get any easier than that. I guess if it was 2 steps, it'd be easier, but please, that's ridiculous, folks. So 3 steps, easy to do. Head over to promopulse.io/AMP, A-M-P, and you won't be sorry you did. It's really a great way to help automate your marketing and really get your message out to your target audience with so much content from suppliers. So can't really go wrong there. Kirby, I can't fault you for much today, except you really didn't do well in the game. I'm really disappointed there.
Swiper, no swiping.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you just did that. That's an end of the podcast. That's it.